Are you rolling, you know?
Yeah. Come here. Okay, it's still bunny there. Alright. Guiding
A new generation.
Guiding
A new generation.
G.A.N.G.
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 Yeah, touch one.
Touch all.
Touch one.
Touch all. No
Yeah,
justice.
No peace.
No justice.
No peace. Cool. Yeah, man. So us, man, we've come down there to Hyde Park in this freezing evening.
But we're there.
But we're here though, innit? We're here to guide a new generation. Yeah? And make sure the pals are still amongst us together, just meeting. You get me? The energies. I was cold, man. I didn't want to come out. I'll be honest with you. But
I was coming out. Because of the good news we've had, I was coming out. Just coming out. Yeah, we've had some good news. A little balance.
What balance you chat about there?
C.O.E, man.
Ah.
I keep forgetting that.
So you were upset they
I was
got
upset,
taken
yeah,
down?
I was. But I stayed steady. I
Yeah.
prayed. You know what I mean? I always pray. Praying is essential.
Yeah, man. Now it was disheartening, man. And then now to hear the news that everything's back up and running, so them youths they can still get the knowledge, the truth, and the guidance.
And the awareness.
It's a blessing
It's an
still.
overwhelming feeling.
Blessing still. So, congrats, C.O.E, for still being there to share that information.
Top
Big up, man.
top striker. Yeah, so we're gonna start with the movie, bro.
Yeah, so we're looking to this. We've just been reasoning about the hot topic of the week. On Thursday, there was a new movie that come out. I think everybody knows what movie that is. We had the release of Black Panther. A lot of people excited by this. What are you saying, Gary? You joining us, fam?
Come on, Gary, join in, man.
You joining us, fam? So we had the release of this Black Panther, and yeah, a lot of people have been excited by it. So there's been a lot of opinion in regards to the excitement shown for this, as opposed to other real things that we probably be needing to be giving our attention to. So we've come down. We've just been chatting anyway. We've just been chatting to each other amongst ourselves, just conversating, just vibes in and that. But we thought we'll have this discussion on camera, just to share different angles of this exciting time for many people who went out dressed up to the cinema.
I haven't been to cinema in years, man. Well, I have with the children, but like personally to watch a movie of adults, I ain't been.
I remember the last film I watched.
So
I did go see it still.
you see it? You seen the movie? So anyone who's seen the movie, jump in. Tell us what you
I
think,
went
man.
to see it still. I
You
thought.
can spoil it for me because I'm still going to watch it. I'm not one
Well,
of
it's,
us.
well,
We'll
guarantee-
try-
it's good for people to see it still because
We'll
there's
try and
always
keep the spoilers to a minimum as well. We'll
there's
say
always,
that as
there's
well,
always
just in
a
case you ain't
problem when it
seen
comes to black people. There's always a problem with us, innit? So every time something like obviously when a movie comes out when it's got black people in it, it's good for us. It should be a good thing. But obviously it's gonna have a negative thing. There's a way I don't know. So positive and negative always comes with a balance. So that is life is always comes with negative and positive. That's how it is. So you have to take both things and read through it. I can't really tell you too much for the film, but the African side of it and what they're trying to come with the positive side is good. And they're showing you about new technology and the stuff what we had from years ago. We've always been advanced. They can never take that from us. You get me? But there's things through that film. I can tell you with what's the name, Claw. You need to watch the real animation cartoon to get the truth of the film because they changed it up. There's a lot of things that don't make with the Pupsy getting murdered don't make no sense. So you have to go watch the real original cartoon before you watch the film to really make sense of this.
So
thing.
you might have to explain that a bit clearer because, like me, I'm not like a fan.
Well, there's an animation.
Of
The original Black Panther film was an
Right.
animation. That's the
Right.
one where really people need to try and find that film and watch that before you watch the film to make sense of the film. Because when you watch it, you're gonna think that's the film. That
that's
is the
true
original
and
one.
that's
So,
your
yeah, but the original film is already made already. You understand? The cartoon was already there,
They've watered it down, basically.
yeah, they watered it down. And there's many things. What's missing from what Claude really, what his perspective, what he is in the movie. He's a bad guy. He's a villain, but he's much worse a villain. But they cut it out. They cut it to make him look like a good guy, but really he isn't. Even though he's bad, in the movie, but they make him look too good. You understand? With the, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. They're
Bad
glorifying them. Yeah, they're glorifying back. And yeah, like I say, you have to watch the cartoon.
So overall, even the movie compared to the cartoon, is it?
It's
as
still
good
on the
as
level.
expected?
Yeah, it's still good. Like the effects in it, it's all good. You get? It's all good.
That's how they attract you, innit? The
And
effects.
we still we're still bigger than Tony Sparks. You get me? Iron Man. We still we hold the richness because that's where it comes from, the motherland, innit? But Iron Man original was black as well. When I was watching Iron Man when I was young, he was a black man with a high top. So they keep changing things. So they change a lot of things in life. What makes you think like, what's really going on? What's you understand? Makes you think about. Like,
All right, so let me ask you this. So, in regards to the youth, yeah. Do you think this movie has had a positive effect on them, or a controlling effect, or what do you think to them? How's it positive to the youth?
In African culture, it's a good thing because it makes you get back to how you dress and stuff. So it's a good thing. Yeah, man, get back into your roots. Yeah, get back. Like, know your kente cloth. Know your things. It's good for us to be like that. Royalty. When we walk down the road, we have an ID. When we walk in these clothes, like when you're walking in your Nikes, it's their ID. You know, it's a
So
brand.
you're saying that the unity that it's bringing to the African people,
Yeah,
or
it's
the
good.
diaspora, it's a good thing. Yeah,
it's bringing out that panther, and it's bringing out the Black Panther. You get me? Because a lot of people are looking royalty. I did see people, and it's all Nubians. I saw it wasn't more, and I noticed a lot of people were buying seats. So when you go in there, because they said it's all booked out, but when you go in there were seats still there. So they're buying seats. So I'm thinking, when I saw them seats, because the seats I had was like in the corner seats. And I'm thinking, look, these seats are empty. And in my head, I know how Hollywood works. They buy out the seats so you can't sit in them. So I'm thinking, you know what, Hollywood, I went and sit in them same seats you pay for. Because that is for I, for really, that's the truth. It's for I to see. We shouldn't be in them bottom corners where you want to get us. No, they try at first, they're trying to say their friends are coming. But you know your friends ain't coming, you get me? Real talk, you get me? And like I say, gang, you get me? One love and guidance.
Guidance.
New
New generation. Yeah.
Well, I can't talk on it, Bugs, because I ain't seen it. But I do know is it a Walt Disney film?
Yeah, it's a Disney.
As you know about Disney, the subliminals Disney portray, I know about Disney years ago, most probably 15, more even longer years. And I know the wickedness they portray in their films. Like, big up Jedi for pointing it out as well, like a little footage he put together with some of the subliminals they put in their cartoon. Like, you've seen the one with Aladdin as well, when he's on the balcony, innit? When, you remember when the genie's like, I don't even want to say what it says.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
I don't know. But yeah, I've seen some of those videos.
Yeah, and they've got quite a lot, to be honest. And so I can't really take Disney. To me, it's quite fallacy anyway. So as he said, it's watered down, I think. I don't think they've given us the fundamentals.
They're not giving you the full.
It's like when I was younger, there was a cartoon, and everyone needs to go and watch this one.
It's Marvel. I think it's not
Marvel.
Disney, it's Marvel.
It's Disney.
Yeah,
No,
but
it's
Disney.
Disney.
It's
Disney.
Disney.
Owned by
Disney.
Disney.
Owned by
Yeah.
Disney.
They own it, yeah.
So it's all one. They're all one anyway. But what was I saying? There was a cartoon called Ulysses. You need to go and look for that, Ulysses.
Oh, I remember.
that?
Oh, Ulysses free.
What?
Oh,
that was the
remember
first
that
time.
still.
Fight the gods. And
That
I'm
was
trying to. That's right, and he was travelling around.
Anyone wants
I
to try and
remember
come check me?
that. Jesus looking
man.
guy,
it's
innit?
bad.
Wow, that's brought back some
You see
memories
the
still.
dialect, you see the dialect they use in that? The kind of, the way the efficacy with their words, the impeccableness, that's what we don't know. That's why they take certain cartoons off.
Right,
You know what I mean? They
right.
take it off for
I have
that.
to look that
City
one
of
up,
Gold,
you
you
know.
remember that?
Oh yeah, I remember that.
So
I remember that.
if
I
you
remember
get
that.
more cartoons with that, what your spirits can relate to, then you can identify with it. But when you're just seeing something for effects and colouring, you're watching the wrong thing. You're watching it for visualisation. You're not really listening to what's being said. Because you're going to have to watch it about 4 or 5 times before you can even get the first scene for a lot of these films. They've made it that in depth. You can't just see it at surface. So you might have to go back and analyse it. But a film's a film, as we know. Your real movie is your life.
Yeah.
So make sure you're playing that role in that movie.
Gang.
Gang.
It's bad still.
Yes, I haven't even seen the film, so
But you definitely come across the hype and everything. You know, people get.
it. Like, I'm happy for all the actors. I'm happy for the director.
Yeah.
I don't even know who the writer is, but that's something I need to look into. I don't know if anyone knows anything about the writer. But, yeah, like it's good seeing that people are coming together, or people just coming together to support something. I wanna, because that makes people realise that the energy's there for everything that we want to achieve, for any kind of business. So it's good to see it. We need to see that nowadays. And it's also, I feel like it's.
But will it be transferable though? Will you see this sort of excitement when a black business opens in
Exactly.
your high street?
Will
people
I'm
be flocking there to
excited.
go and spend their money there the same way they went to the movie?
That's what I'm saying. So hopefully, seeing images of all the people coming through supporting. It's now number one, I think. Like the first made the most money out of Marvel, so that's always going to be there, Black Panther. So to see that
historical event.
Yeah, man.
It's nice.
Yeah, it's nice. It's always going to be there. Obviously, from searching that up, you can go back to the real Black Panthers. You know what I mean?
See, I'll be honest with you. I'll just say that's one of my fears. You see, this movie has made such an impact on this release,
That this might be the talk of the Black Panther.
This is what I'm saying.
Yeah,
so
I see them add on the movie part onto the hashtag.
That's what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that when people go to search this information, looking for information on Black Panther, now when they do a Google or other search engines are available, you can type that phrase in, Black Panther. And now the thing that's going to come to the top is something about a movie, about a fantasy story. When actually the Black Panthers is a real time, in our lifetime, history of a group of people trying to fight oppression
from the down
real
pressure,
oppression, real life oppression. So for me, that's a thing where I don't know if
they're suppressing the title now.
That's what I'm saying. They're trying to use it or move it. I'm no
That's
expert. I don't have any proof. But that's just something I thought about. You get me?
Can I make a point? I watched the film the other day. I prefer not to be on camera, my brother.
No, go true, go. You're not.
At least get on the mic.
Yeah,
But yeah, the mic. You need the mic though. Sure, put that away.
I watched the movie the other day. At first, I'm giving the movie 9 out of 10. The movie was excellent. Make sure you go and watch it on the right vibe. Special effects, fantastic. Storyline was gripping. It had enough different directions, not like one character, like just Superman. There was like about 4 or 5 different characters. Like obviously all of them were from African origin, but the storyline itself was a wicked storyline as well. Come to the stage when man's watching a movie, it don't even matter what colour the people are in the movie. That's how good the movie was. You're just watching it like, right, you know what? You're not even watching to see, right, are they black or they white? The movie's a wicked movie. In terms of the cinematography and all of the costumes and all that, wicked, 10 out of 10 again, yeah? Black people need to stop coming late. Man's trying to watch the movie and like, he's still coming in late. I was late.
I was going to let man continue.
I was late.
I was going to let man continue, but already you had, no, you can't. I'll tell you why you can't. I'll tell you why you can't. Because when you dismiss the fact that African people are doing something as I'm not even looking to see whether they're black or not or whatever colour they're not. You're dismissing the real life struggles that man have gone through.
I'm gonna come to it in a minute.
And you I don't expect you to understand that, but that's what I'm telling you. I'm going to show you. Now we're actually here talking about the movie, but in relation to how it affects our youth and the people growing up. Now already I gave you had one strike. One strike is when you said about the colour. The second one when you said about people being late. So I'll tell you what. No. So I'm going to give you one more chance to finish what you want to say and hope that it's going to still be relevant to what we're speaking about.
The first strike I made the mistake with is I said I wasn't looking at it as colour, and that's from an angle of a non-black person.
Being dismissive of our culture.
I'm saying to you, you lot watch the movie from one angle and I'm watching it from a different angle.
Please tell us what you thought about the movie.
You have to respect that the angle that I'm coming from is going to be different. I saw it. I just came to see it as in like a adventure kind of movie. I never came there thinking, oh, it's a black people's movie. I just came there as an adventure movie, and for me, it didn't actually. It actually made the grade with that. It was very good. In relation to the bit when I said, yeah, black people's got something late, I was late myself, yeah? That was just a little joke.
Yeah, it's a joke, but it's a generalisation that I don't like to hear.
Come on, my brother. You know what I'm saying? I was late myself.
Things, man. So
okay, all right, take that back.
Camera, I'll have to, I just have to address it, that's all.
Okay,
I have to address it. And you've taken it, so it's cool. It's not a problem,
but just to let you know,
it's not a problem, I will have to say something.
Would you say it's a film that children should see?
Yeah, I'm going to come to that in a minute. I just want to clarify that point. With me, obviously, you don't know me. Sometimes I'll bust a little joke here and there, like most of you. You know what I mean?
Bro, you took it, I'm not saying you didn't take it badly or you didn't take it offensively, but at least you've taken it on board.
Okay, so the first point I was going to make about the movie is that you said something like, you said that, like, no, Walt Disney, Marvel, they're all together, yeah? Remember you said that earlier. Now, I think what we've got to understand is that there's a strategy that these people are using in the system, yeah? And sometimes they'll use the movie, we know they use the movies, you understand? So there was a lot of positives in the movie that I saw, okay? I did see a few negatives in there too. And one of the ones that I have to know, that which you have to look at as well, is that, you know, before, like, back in the day, they used to say, yeah, when the movies were there, the black person's always the first one to get killed. You've heard that before, innit?
Yeah.
The first, no lie, the first person that spoke a word that got killed in this movie, you know what he said? He said, "Wallahi, I'm gonna kill you," and they killed him. So in this movie, actually, ironically, the first person that was killed that spoke was a Muslim. I don't know how that happened, but subliminal again.
They put the Boko Haram because of the girls. That's the reason why they did that.
Now what I'm saying is that they killed him, but I'm saying
But they killed him because, as I said to you, it was because of the going on the stances of Nigeria and the Boko Haram when they took the girls. So that they were trying to advertise and promote that the woman that he was in love with was doing her own research of protecting women. So what happened is, if you're going on that form of the story and you understand Boko Haram, you understand that they're a type of a Muslim people. They couldn't say that they were Christians, so they will portray that stance in that entirety. So
the point I'm making to you is that basically, as we said in some white Muslims before, they used to kill the white person first. In this one, to me, it just seemed like they just killed the Muslim person first. And then so the question I'm asking you is that the brother said they have subliminal messages. For me, there was a subliminal message in that. Do you understand? So,
but that's what I'm saying.
You agree with
that's
that?
how you would take it in your opinion.
That's how you
but
would
what I'm saying
relate
is,
it
but
from your
if you understand the history and the knowledge and the information, you understand that period that they did, how they started the film, was that the Black Panther's ex-woman was one of them people that got people into bringing them out and getting them free. So what it was she was protecting women. So then when you understand that it was the Boko Haram incident of the girls that went missing. So they were showing that they were putting a stop to it before it actually happened in the jungle. Because if you look at the history and the story about it, you'll find out that they took a lot of the women into the bush, which they couldn't find when they were looking for them.
So you're saying that there's something to do with, there's something in the movie that you're relating to present day Boko Haram. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, the Boko Haram. That happened today.
So that's deeper than it first looks.
So you look at most of the entire.
So I said you're going to have to watch it more than once.
Understanding the movie, what they've done is that they've taken contents of what's happening today and joined it together, amalgamated, because the actual film itself is not a real true film, but the information that they put to bring the film together. So like you see like the Boko Haram, you see like even the time of, as I said, I don't even want to spoil the people who haven't watched the film, but when you understand, even when people look at the film, they might see two black people fighting. But then if you look at behind the two people fighting, you understand that one is from the States and one is from Africa. And when you understand in forms of slavery, you understand the African diaspora and you understand the African people. So you understand that the African diaspora was let go and never brought back home. Do you understand? And because Africa has the resources, they never shared the resources with the people that are in the African diaspora so that they can rise up. Do you understand? So then it became a conflict and anger that you left me behind and I couldn't come home.
They never had real control over those materials anyway. So I hear what you're saying.
So you're understanding these stories within it. They're different little stories, but compiled together as one story.
Was it put together, produced by like black people as well?
Yeah, everything was done by black people, but as I said to you, the hierarchies where, as I said, me personally have a slight little problem with, because at the end of the day, they're taking the gross pay.
All right. So, Ash, did you finish what you had to say about your take on Black Panther?
What did I get asked? Basically, so yes, I think seeing the images of everyone going supporting this film, we need to rotate that and move forward to people's businesses, people's art, just building. If we can do that for a film, we can do that for our friends. Even if it's shows, even if it's like art, even if it's just any kind of creative business, any kind of business, any industry, that's how we should be putting in that effort.
Any form of support, you mean?
Any form of support.
Real talk.
Yeah, man. That's true, man.
I hear it on the like.
Shows it can be done if it's
can
for
do
the
it
right,
for the
for
movie,
the right,
we
yeah,
can
for the
do
right
it
moves. We need to
stands,
start doing
you
it.
know?
And number one as well out of all Marvel films and just like that. So it's all there, and our power is just showing through that. I just wish that like I said, it would be more effective for more films than just Black Panther.
Yeah.
So
No, yeah, true talk, man. True talk. And I think that's what we have to remember is.
Can I just ask, is the, what colour is the black baddie in it?
one's white and
The
one's
both,
black.
No, the one you said that they try and make good, it look good.
So many
The one who try and make.
They said there was a baddie they try and
We think he's doing something good, but yeah, he's back. He's the. I don't want to spoil the story for
but
people,
what I'm
man.
trying to get through, it's like when blacks win an Oscar, it's a bad role portrayed. Look at
Usually,
Monique.
usually,
Look at
yeah.
Monique. Look at Halle Berry. Look at Denzel. Are they all good roles?
No, but you know what it
Slave
was?
roles,
It's someone in his
servant roles.
family. It's a it's a family member. That's how it ended up. One of his family members ended up being bad to him. Well, it weren't bad. It's just something what happened. Generation,
I'm gonna
a
have to
family
see it
incident.
anyway.
Yeah. You don't want to go too
Yeah.
much into it. Still, yeah. I don't want to spoil it.
So
So
I'm
they
gonna
refuse
see-
it.
you know what, I
Something
watch
there.
everything open-minded.
You see
like,
what
I've
they
never-
did? You see what they
even
did
if
in
I've
the
watched
film?
it 20
Let me
times,
tell you
it's
what
like
they
I've
did.
never
What they
watched
did
it.
in the film, they took people's backgrounds. Like in America, you see, like American backgrounds got a lot of history of abuse, drugs, everything. And they used that in the film. That's what they did. They used that and put it in the film, so it makes you think. The brother was saying, they put that African side as well, the aspect. So it's basically mixing two parts, and you
So
make you think.
that's where the confusion
Yeah.
lies. You see what I'm saying? That's what they done. That's what Hatred's saying. They try. It's for you to just pick out
Yeah,
the
what you need.
for your journey. You know, I mean, everyone's journey is entitled different. Like as they say, you can go left and right, but the direction's still the same. Zion's that way.
But
you know what I mean?
I'll stop you there because for me, we're saying, yeah, you pick what information you need for your journey. But then we got to realise that a lot of the people picking that information, those young children, those 12, 13, 14-year-olds, because it's a 12 rated movie, they don't know
12
what
is like
information.
15 though, isn't it? It's
Well-
like they've kind of watered it down, but 12 is like 12's got swearing in it.
Yeah, it has. But I'm saying that a 12-year-old kid can go into the cinema and see this. So a 12-year-old you going in there now, getting this information, and doesn't really know what is fantasy. He's taking as reality because everyone's hot hype about this thing. Because he doesn't know anything about the actual factual knowledge that he needs to grow and rise to his higher and proper self. You get me? So for me, where they mix the fantasy and reality and the blurring of the lines, for me, it's a problem, but it's not a massive problem that can't be dealt with people speaking to their
You've got
youth,
people
people
who can,
speaking
like,
and
we
teaching
could
them and
go
saying,
and
look,
break it down.
exactly, letting them know about the real
I have to
Black
admit,
Panthers.
I have to admit, there's a lot of mind manipulation in this film. They didn't, because if you let me just say something. If they started from the truth, because when the beginning of the film, it starts with religion. And that's one thing they missed out in the beginning of the film, with religion, and it's about them going to Africa and giving religion so they can take the land. And they didn't show that in the film.
Oh, they won't show that.
Why? You know why you didn't show that in the film? But that would have made people wake up for a long time ago. Anyway, if they put that rise up as well. You get me? Yeah.
So yeah, so that's good. Yeah. So what did you? Have you seen the movie?
Yeah, I've seen the film. Honestly, when I watched the film, because I know the connotation of anything made by...
Let me just say first, before you carry on talking, that this is my little brother, yeah? My baby brother. This is Henry. He doesn't like to go by that name, but that's who he is, yeah? And it's his birthday today.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, so happy birthday, man. Happy birthday. He's 33 years young. And he lives in Bahrain. He just come back to visit us. He just likes to hop on a plane and come check us. But
good,
I'm
man.
glad to say that you're here and happy birthday, man. So yeah,
birthday,
so
man.
Carol.
Even though Muslims don't celebrate birthdays.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do. But,
They do in Bahrain
Is it?
and Saudi Arabia, so there you go.
I'm proving. Yeah, I'm proving wrong. But yeah, what you lot are talking about? The Black Panther film.
Black Panther, yeah. We're just like going through how we felt it.
So I
affected the community.
haven't seen the film personally, but just to add a little bit, so we know that the Disney Corporation historically has put out a lot of misinformation about us. Just about to say that. Put out a lot of misinformation about
I'll tell you
us.
what. Let him finish his, and then we'll come round to you, yeah, because he was in the middle. So you
Sorry.
carry on, say
Cool.
yours. Say yours.
So just to carry on what you were saying,
Yeah. So because you obviously wanted to get that point
ultimately,
out,
I've seen Black Panther. When I went to watch it this time, I went to watch it just as a film because I know it has deep connotations. It's made by Disney, which is a corporation, and the corporation has shareholders. They have a reason for making a film, which isn't going to be for any of our interests. You know, it's propaganda like a newspaper, like your news. So that aside, I knew what I was going to see. On the surface level, I liked it. It was good. It looks like a good film. There's a lot of money in it. But on a more deeper level, it had a lot of some good things that I saw personally as a West African. I saw that they put some positive things about my culture for everyone to see on display, which was good. However, when you look at the two themes in the film, which is the normal movie good versus evil, from a lot of people's point of view, the person who was seen to be on the evil side technically wasn't evil. He was actually doing what a lot of people in the world actually want. But what's funny
Like a
about
vigilante.
that, pardon?
Like a vigilante.
Basically, yeah. But what's really funny about it, a lot of the commentary on the villain in this particular movie is that he's the best villain that they've ever had in the whole Marvel universe. So at the moment, people are even agreeing with the views of the villain, and people are actually annoyed that he kind of the way the story went towards the end, people are unhappy with it because they liked his character so much. And the only
So that you're saying that they're actually vilifying some people's ideals of what they would like to happen in their society.
In their society, and so much so, the only criticism people have got on the movie is that the so-called villain in the movie wasn't in it enough. That's the only thing people can say, which means ultimately people liked what they saw.
Well, that means they're going to just remember what he done more. That's it. The less someone is and he's that good, well portrayed.
Yeah,
they're
but
gonna
really,
remember
my
him
question
more.
is, going by the history of Disney Corporation, can we trust this to be an accurate representation of us, or should we always see it as a piece of propaganda by people outside of our culture?
I think that's standard.
I think that's exactly what it is.
I think that, why would you
said
even
that
ask that
earlier.
question?
Yeah,
At the
I don't
end of
think
the-
any other way.
and one of my particular problems is, it's like, going back to what you were saying, it's very good how people have come out to support it and look at all the money that's made. I wish they would do that for something more important, like one of our cousins being strangled to death for selling cigarettes, or a young cousin being
Yes.
shot.
That's
You know
what
what I mean? I
I'm
wish
talking
people
about,
man.
would support
more
real
significant.
serious things. Also, going to what
Than
you're
just a
saying,
movie.
I'm frustrated that why is it taken a foreign corporation to tell your story? That doesn't make any sense. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, why haven't we done it
Well,
ourselves?
it's not a real story. It's I mean a
No,
story.
but or any
just
story.
containing
You know what I mean?
actual
Why
people.
is
Portrayal.
it? Why is
Yeah,
it?
okay.
You've got a story, or you've got a story, and you're going to let someone else tell that story, and you know through history, which is what you're insinuating, that for the last 50, 100, 2,000 years, this person has been beating you down, knocking you down. So why do you think they're going to do something good for you today? They're not.
They're not.
So that's why I'm like, yeah, I've
They
taken
just
it.
know how to feed us differently.
See, for me,
Yeah, so-
I agree with what you are saying, and definitely about the part like with Disney and how they're not going to do anything good for us now. But for me, I still am not hating on the movie. People sometimes just assume, because we're talking the way we're talking, that you're hating on it. I'm not hating on it. I don't mind, man, them getting excited about it, dressing up in the G.A.N.G, going there with the drums to go and hail up this big movie that they know they're going to love. That's good. And even more so, if there are people who weren't really in tune with their history or trying to be understanding of their culture and where they're from, weren't before and they are now because of the movie, that's
awareness has
boom.
been
It's boom. It's excellent. So it's not about hating on it. It's just that energy needs to be used correctly,
the right way.
more consistently,
More direct.
and
more
more.
constructive.
Yeah, more constructively. You know what I mean? So if we allow Disney, of all corporations, some races treated us bad in the past,
Got the 666
to
in the
dictate when we're proud of our heritage and of our history and things that they've made up in this story, whatever. Then that's sad, fam. That's sad. They're controlling us.
And sorry to cut you, what I don't like about what's happening here is Disney is technically selling us our culture, which, as we know here, the Westerner or the European has sold back our culture
stuff, yeah.
in other
And we have to pay more
spiritual
for it
forms,
back,
which I'm not going to say here, but you know what I mean. So they take our stuff, which is
Say
really
it.
African,
But
and
they did. What are you
repackage
saying?
it.
So you're saying that the
religion,
story
for
of
example.
Christianity,
So the story of
for example.
Christianity, all these different religions, I would say the Abrahamic faiths, they repackage African stories. They're on the walls of Egypt. If you don't believe me, go there and look at them. Because you can talk about whether you believe or not in the Abrahamic faith. They're only so many years old that we can prove, that we can see. And then you've got stuff before that. So ultimately, we've got to stop believing things that are
Told
that are
to
your
us.
own,
We've got to start knowing
and
ourselves.
start knowing yourself. Stop stop believing you're good because someone tells you're good. Know you're good.
Yeah, I know.
man.
That's
And
what I
that's
mean.
the problem.
A lot of us don't
And-
know ourselves.
You know?
So, just on that point about the Abrahamic religions, like as a Muslim, obviously, I'm not gonna, I disagree with you. However, telling your own narrative is something that's extraordinarily important. Ultimately, you cannot trust people outside of your culture to tell your story because they have no vested interest in being truthful. It's as simple as that, innit? It's simple, and also it's more interesting for them, and it furthers their agenda if they're untruthful.
Yeah.
Do you understand? Now, the reason I keep going on about the Disney Corporation is because I know about the film, the Deep South. I don't know if you've ever seen it, but it's a film from the 30s, and it's probably the most racist film ever made, isn't it? Like comfortably the most racist film ever made. Right? So going by what's happened in the past, and I know about all these little sly like innuendos in the films and all these little sly suggestions, whether they're sexual, whether they're racist, sexist, etc. And knowing that history, I just don't trust them in it. You know what I mean? So that's just me. But like, I would love to see more black creatives, like more black writers, more
Answer the question.
more black
You're gonna watch the
directors.
film?
Have I? Huh?
Are you going to watch the film?
Am I going to watch the film? My answer now is I'm not gonna
You
I'm
can't
not gonna
pass
watch
judgment
it.
if you ain't seen it.
I haven't seen the film, no.
But you can on Walt Disney.
Yeah.
Warp, what they call warped trickery, I call them.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, but like I said, I want to see more black. I know this film, for example, was done by a black director. If it wasn't a black director, would it have
See
come
how
out?
it comes though. You see the messages, what they want to portray. They do it when they're editing the film. You see when they're editing. That's what the writer and the director don't have any.
I'll tell you what, man. There were some messages put in there. There were some
Yeah,
messages
4
put in
hours,
there
man.
that I picked up on weren't really hidden in any way, shape, or
It's
form.
a
It's
shade
quite
in your
blatant.
face. They ain't got
And
time now.
Messages
There's
They're
one,
running out of
I'll
time.
even say it because it's not a spoiler. Yeah, it's a part of the film where there's a white guy comes into the scene, into some sort of throne room, and the person on the throne says to him, "No, you can't talk to me. You can't talk to me, colonizer. Don't talk." And it's calling colonizer, and they're talking like that as if it was a joke, undermining something that was so serious that millions of Africans have died
kind
for.
of diluting
Yeah,
the
colonized.
seriousness
Yeah,
of it.
diluting the seriousness of it, making it into a joke thing.
That's what I
And
call
then
it.
he says, "Okay," so the guy shuts up. He don't want to talk. Yeah, and then as for a joke that the white guy don't know, and everyone thinks it's serious in the room, he says to the guy, "Yeah, if you talk again, I'm gonna feed you to my children." So he was implying that we or some tribes or some us Africans
food.
are cannibals. We eat other humans' flesh. Now this is a barefaced lie. We have no evidence of this in Africa at all. But you have evidence of it in Europe.
Propaganda,
You have evidence of it in Europe. Don't believe me? Find out for yourself.
It's mad. It's
But it
like
could be a
And
it's
two-way
they're
like,
trying to
thing, though.
imply
They make
that
it
we're,
as a joke.
and then they turn it into a joke. He says, "Oh, I'm only joking. We're all vegetarians," and they all start
It's
laughing.
mad,
Ha
it's
ha
mad,
ha!
it's mad,
But
it's
listen to what they've done already. You're now laughing at the
planted
little
the
joke.
seed.
But it's already planting the seed and told you something,
Yeah,
hasn't
they do
it?
it.
This is my issue with these type of things. If we're not aware of this, then it just controls
Just
you,
to add-
dictates, pushes buttons, makes you feel this emotion,
gonna
change your
accept
vibration.
condition.
It does all of that. You get
just
me?
to add to that, the point about the cannibalism, you can also make the same point about witchcraft. From my research, is something that the oldest form of witchcraft comes from Spain. Today, if you look at the culture of Spain, it's still something that's quite deeply interwoven into it. If you look at Mexico, again, it's something very deeply interwoven into it. Growing up, I watched Sabrina the Teenage Witch. Charmed was on TV, Harry Potter, etc. But when it's a white guy doing witchcraft, we have no problem with it. Yeah, to the point where the image of somebody doing witchcraft is Merlin, it's Harry Potter. There's an image of it that's been superimposed on you
Paul
your
Daniels.
whole life is a white guy doing witchcraft. But now when you close your eyes and I say to you a Ouija board, you're gonna think of a black guy on the board, innit? You know what I mean?
You're gonna think of Dynamo.
You know what I mean? You're not gonna think of somebody who's Spanish. You're not gonna think of somebody who's European. So this idea, this notion, even though it might have originated in Europe, it has been superimposed on our
Of course it
culture
has. They
to
plant
the
the seed
point
and
where
let it
that
grow.
is seen as something that's exclusive to our culture.
But you know why? Because no one wants to cut the plant down before it grows. We're letting it blossom, so we're allowing it to grow and inoculate all the youths that mind.
That's it. And normally, when you
Got
want
to be standing up to that.
when
shit.
you want to talk
What
about
you think of the movie for us as well, please?
Yes, Jem, you're still here, man. Love that.
Yeah, for your friends,
No, Jem, man, you're in,
you still got to give your.
Because you've seen the
your
movie,
piece
Jem.
as well.
I ain't seen it.
Yeah,
You said
but
you've seen it.
No, sir.
So
I
that's
don't want to
what-
spoil certain
Anyway,
things, but
Anyway,
I
going
thought-
back to my man's
If you
point,
see,
yeah,
you see in the
about
movie,
Disney
and you see
being
how they
bad.
try and make us at war with each other
Yeah,
as well.
yeah,
You
Yeah,
see that?
constant. Yeah, that's. Don't get me wrong. They weren't completely perfect, There were African tribes and that are fighting and that all the time. You going? So you're not going to come and
And
give
they're
us your
not
2
tribes.
pence?
I don't like this name tribes.
Yeah,
They're
give us your
nations.
Come on,
Okay?
man.
They're nations.
Energy.
But there was
Tribes is a
still
European term.
but there was not the
Nations.
barbaric way of the Europeans. Fact.
And then also,
Tribal wars. So after they fight each other,
That's to divide the
they go and
nation.
give two calf and woman, and they go there to that village and live there. People didn't die in these things, or weren't as savagely head
Basically, you
toppers.
take that man's wife and his
Yeah,
children.
man.
You look at that.
And they're trying to imply that these are at each other's
And then,
throats constantly. It's just a normal
you,
thing.
when you look at what you were saying before about the film having undertones and being negative, what else would you expect of the film? It's from Disney.
Disney, you can't
It's a
expect
corporation. It's a propaganda. It's bad. The guy, you know about the history of Walt Disney. It's almost like saying
German,
McDonald's is bringing out a salad or McDonald's is changing their diet. Are you going to trust McDonald's to feed your family? No, it's a fast food joint. So why are you expecting anything different from Black Panther? Just because they dress it up nice, underneath, what is it?
So what, are you hating on the film? Are you
I'm not
saying
hating
that
in the film.
you don't like it, or you wouldn't watch it, or you don't
He's just
recommend people
shining
watch it?
the light
What
between
are
I
you
the
think
saying?
people should watch the film, you know what I mean, for the entertainment or aesthetic purposes, it looks nice, or like a McDonald's, it can taste nice, but ultimately, it's not giving you anything that good. Really, if we want to be honest about it, who made the film?
Talk about the enjoyment and for the kids.
Who
What
made
about
the film?
that?
Disney made the film. Do Disney make good things and push
Come
out
on,
good
I've
things?
already been warp trickery.
So there you go, so that's your answer.
Yeah, man. So, no one else want to add any more in regards to Black Panther? Any more outcomes or what they may expect of the
You know what would have been good though?
sequels?
You know what would have been good if they named the film Panther? Yeah, left a bit of mystery. So now everyone's thinking, and then they've made us like a walking puppet on a string, like, you know what I mean? Like dressing up, like as he said, why have we let Walt Trickery come in and make the film before we could?
That's what I'm
That
saying.
don't make no
It's ridiculous.
sense.
And this is the
No, but
point.
the man
That's a
did.
joke,
The man
man.
was trying to do that.
No, but
are
it should
in
have been
control.
done.
This is what I'm
Should have
saying.
been done.
They
If
are
anyone
in
was going to do
control.
it, should have been kept in. If Spike Lee done it, I might have took it more serious.
And also, like, I think too much attention is being given to this one. People are giving this too much energy.
Yeah.
It's just a film.
A movie, yeah.
You know what I mean? I would love to see if we'll be talking about Infinity
seen
War
a movie in
when that
about
comes
6
out in a few
months,
weeks'
to be honest.
time. You know what I mean? You're giving these
Infinity
guys.
War.
Yeah.
What's that? Was that
That's
another?
another
like,
Marvel Disney film. Because
Okay.
ultimately, it's like
They've got another one coming out.
they've got another one, but
They're
this is
gonna
just,
come with loads. Do you
but
know how
this
much
is
Marvel
just-
characters there
But this is just like a film where all the Marvel
started.
characters are combined.
Yeah,
Oh,
and,
okay.
and they go back into
That's
the
what they've
jungle
done.
again.
They've done
Yeah.
that with Heroes.
What?
you
So
know
hold
how-
on,
you know
so
how-
they're back
you
in
know-
Africa again on this
Yeah,
one.
coming back,
So this
coming
one's
back.
based in Africa again?
They had Green
Is Black
Lantern.
Panther involved in this one as
Yeah,
well?
has
When
to
I was
be.
a
this
youth,
one-
Green Lantern was a black guy. Then I saw the film and it became a white guy. What
Yeah,
happened,
they
bro?
changed him.
Who's that?
Two different
But understanding this time round is where this guy that if you know the comics, you understand that he's taking each person's powers.
Oh, right.
Yeah, and
Okay.
he gets it
Combined
comes the things
ring.
like to the rings.
Yeah.
He takes them each, but the only people that have got all the resources is the Black Panther again. That's why you see, if you see the trailer, go look at the trailer
Yeah.
for New
Everything's
Avengers.
linked up, man.
My issue
Yeah.
is giving too much energy to a movie. You need to give energy to real things.
Real things, real
like,
issues.
like Grenfell Tower that happened a few months ago. You know what I mean? Everyone's all fast to go cinema, get dressed up and, you know, give so much money. How much money is given to them families over there? Which could have been any one of us, really.
It's like we've
No
got
one
money
here
to
lives in a
waste.
mansion.
Don't let
You
to
know?
the Bentley fan and don't go to the club, rude boy.
That movie might motivate someone to do something at the same time. It might motivate some people in their life. Do you understand?
Yeah, there's a
And then-
But
balance.
you know what?
There's a
You know what?
balance.
The problem is the problem. You have to deal with the problem before you like. Because the problem, what you're saying, the same thing you said there, it's the problem we have to deal with. Because even with that, when you give
The
them money,
mindset
there's a
of people.
problem again. So you have to
mindset.
deal with we have to get to the source.
mindset
man.
of the youth.
Once we deal with the source first, and then we can, you know what I'm saying, deal with
Yeah,
what's
that-
the
it's just
main
that-
problem.
But I know what you're saying. They're
Many
glorifying
people
the wrong thing.
Get so excited, and I mean, even I was that. I'm not gonna lie, I was that guy who was gonna go get dressed up and go watch it, and then I realised, why am I gonna get excited and dress up for something I already do? It's already my culture, so I don't need to do that. It's not, and again, that kind of upsets me because my culture is not a fad. That actually is, you know, where I am and where I'm from. So it was just a bit frustrating. And again, it's like let's get together for something more serious.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
okay,
Let's
cool.
back something more serious. So
If everyone
when
got
I
as
come to
excited-
open my business, is everyone going to rush to
That's
support
it.
me the way you're supporting this corporation? Probably not.
That's it. That's how it is, man.
And if we're not about nation building and about bettering ourselves and guiding the new generation, we need to be thinking like that. And that's what it is. It's not about being woke. It's not about knowing all the history of the antiquity, everything that's happened in the past. It's a mindset. It's we're living in a certain paradigm now. So we need to start controlling.
But when your own
what's
brother
happening.
is opening a business or letting out a record, you ain't gonna support that.
That's right.
That's pointless.
It's about
man.
seeing a youth on the road, knowing
First
that
time I met
days.
Tenchu, I knew about Tenchu when he used to do the battle rap. Yeah, I met him at what was that thing in Croydon we went? Some freestyle night at Croydon. Yeah, we used to go. I met him and I said to him, bruv, I don't even buy people's music, but I do if I like their stuff. I said, sugar, I've got £4. It was £5. He said, you know what, bless, bro. You know what I mean? And that was the real meaning of it. If you like something, don't feel away. Them man who I don't even listen to their music, that kind of drill music, but I like what they're doing. So I'll just say, you know what, I've got about $250. They say, yeah, I'll take that. You know what I mean? I've got some in the case, no disrespect, but it's just not my kind of music. So, but I'll support the thing. And that's what we need to do more of.
Support each other, support youths as black men, ourselves, support the youths when you see them on road, talk, engage with them, speak with them, let them know that they exist. Yeah, because a lot of these kids are like invisible and only noticed when they're in grief or when problems arise. You get me? So let them know they exist, talk to them as normal, because what I find when I speak to some of these guys out there, the teenagers and that, is that you got the most intellectual, smart little brothers out there who just haven't got the same chance as others. You get me?
The opportunity ain't
they haven't got the opportunity. So now what we have to do is change that narrative and start having our own businesses or things going on that you can draw the youth on and say, yeah, come with me. Even if you're going to the shop and you're going down the road or something, bring the youth along with you. Let them carry a couple bags. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
You know, that's what it's about, because at the end of the day, you got to realise across the whole of the world, when you see a community of black people, whichever country it is, even in our own land, we are at the bottom of that social ladder. And that's not by chance, fam. That's not because black man is lazy. That's by design, fam. Whether you believe it or not. Whether you believe it or not. Yeah? That's by design, fam. So we got to understand that we are at war. Whether you like it or not, there's a war on black people in general. So we need to stand up and look out for each other, because no one loves us but us. No one loves us but us. And that's true. That's real talk. You like it or lump it. I spit that real for you to try and take that information in. It's real. So we have to start looking out for each other.
So I'd just like to correct what you said. You called it the system. What did Peter Tosh say? The shit still. You're giving it too much power.
Yeah, man. No, you're right. You're right, Gabe.
He saw it years ago, man. Look how much time he saw it ago.
Yeah, I mean, so things like this movie, which has got everybody hyped, got people together, got people wanting to embrace their culture that some people have denied for years. Just said nah. And then the Europeans happy to go in there and claim that
That's what Walt Disney's trick is. They've got you from a young age, you know.
That's the whole point.
They got you, so you don't even know. You don't even really want to watch it. You don't even know you're being. It's like the Pied Piper effect.
That's it.
He's just leading you to
people
it. You
don't know. That's why I say with the movie, and that for me, I got to be honest. I've been and gone and seen the film, yeah, and I took my son to go see it. So it's their half-term thing and that. But I'm not using that as an excuse, because I wanted to see the movie, yeah. I'll post online. I'm Bugs Negus on Instagram. Follow me if you want to find out some information. Yeah, yeah. Bug Negus. Yeah, BOOGZNEGUS. And I've been posting some things on there. Straight away, when I post these little things about the movie about Walt Disney and that, people are just been kind of, what, you boycotting it? You this and that? I'm like, all up in my DMs, you know. I'm like, nah, man, I ain't saying boycott nothing. It's a good thing, fam. Take your family, enjoy that. But just know the truth. If you go into that movie, check this, fam. If you go into that movie, yeah, and you come out of there and you're all chatting and everyone's loving the film, it was all good and everything, and then you ask your kid about the actual Black Panthers and European Union, and he don't know nothing, you've done something wrong. You're going to watch this comic, this fantasy story, and he don't know about real history, about real oppression resistance, then fam, you've done something wrong. That means it's not something that can't be corrected. It's not something that can be dealt with, because you speak, you can sort that out. You get me?
But
But it's
you know, if you put Black Panther in Google, yeah, to look for the movie, it will then it could potentially lead on to you learning about the movement.
But this is my fear.
That's what he
For
said.
now.
though.
This is what
He
I'm
said
saying.
this earlier. He said
This
for
is what I'm saying.
now.
I'll repeat
Give it
again
another
though.
year,
But what
man.
I'm saying is,
Not even a year.
Black Panther has broken so many records. It's such a huge thing, so much hype around it.
That's gonna
Even
be
the
tough.
time it's been released in Black History Month in America and all that. It's all by design. And what's going to happen for me, my fear is,
You're gonna have to
when
type
I
in
was
movement.
growing up school, I had to look in the encyclopedia to do work. Now kids go on Google and they type in a type.
You're gonna have to type movement next to Black Panther now.
Exactly. Also, I don't know what it's going to be.
Yeah.
But the fact is, now the search is going to come up with a movie, a fantasy
It does,
story on
it's
top
already there.
of real
movement
African
at the top.
history.
Let's stop
For
this.
me, that's a big deal.
Let's stop the discussion. Let's have a field test.
Yeah, let's type it in
Let's have
now.
a field
I bet it's
test
there
and
now.
have it on
Very good
camera.
idea.
Yeah, if you put movement, then maybe the movement.
No.
That's a
We're gonna
solution.
do as he
Black
said.
Panther.
We're just gonna
Black
type
Panther.
in
All the
Black
arguing book.
Panther.
Yeah, that's
Or
what
shall
I'm
I type
saying.
in Black Panthers?
Yeah.
What shall I
No,
type in?
type
Black
Black
Panther.
Panther. Let's
Just
see.
do it
Let's
as
see
well.
what come out. Black
Panthers.
Panther.
Panthers or Panther?
No, just Panther.
Black
Panther.
Panther, go.
See how far down you got to go to get the thing.
No, it's the top, man. Of course, that's the top.
Oh my days.
well at the
No,
top.
but that's present right now. Obviously, that's gonna happen.
What do you mean for now?
What
That's
we're saying-
there.
It's come
That's
out
it. It's
saying
there already, bro.
Science and fantasy. Look.
This is what I'm saying to you.
typed in Black
I think you're
Panther,
missing
type in
the-
Black Panthers.
I think
All right, type
I think
in-
you're missing the point that I'm making.
Okay, type in Black
And it's
Panthers.
current right now as well.
Yeah, it's so that's, it's gonna trend, then it. So it's not.
But the point I'm saying that
All right,
in
what-
a year's time,
Black Panthers. That's the
It's got the
Black
party.
Black Panther party.
Yeah.
what,
So
So it's come up.
But the point is this.
So you have
You
to.
gotta put the S.
What you're saying,
You gotta put the S. So you can't put the S.
what
One
you're saying
letter
is right,
can
yeah?
make
What
a
you're saying is
difference.
right, but there's a flip side to it. That's what I'm saying. There's a
Yeah,
flip
no,
side to it.
yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
To balance, man.
Everything's
There's a
got
positive and
balance.
negative. Yeah, exactly.
Everything.
No, you're right.
We
You're
have to
right.
know
So
war,
that's one of my
no peace.
fears. I know.
It's a
I've been
balance.
proven wrong, and hopefully that it will stay like that. But you know what I mean? It's been one of my fears.
You're
I
right.
definitely wanna see
You're
it.
right.
Yeah.
Because I like Marvel. I watch Luke
And it's
Cage,
trending at the
Iron
moment.
Fist,
So
yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
this my fears in the future.
The main issue is that
Another movie's
I
gonna
mean-
come out next year, and then people's gonna even.
Yeah, exactly. Hopefully,
Also-
mate, hopefully.
No, but you are right
Trump.
because if you type in Michael Jackson, it's going to be a white person. You know what I mean? And soon if you type in Tupac, it'll be Eminem that comes up. So, I mean, this stuff has already been happening from time.
But yeah, so you know, I'll watch the movie and that, and there's a lot of sneak
You have watched
dissing in
it?
there for me.
You've
Yeah, I'll
watched
watch it, man.
Can I say something
That's a good
more?
down there. There's a lot of sneak dissing in there, and let me finish. There's a lot of sneak dissing in there in the Black Panther. Yeah. There's a lot of dissing. Like they even used. Now there's a song in it. The revolution will not be televised. Who's that by?
Yeah.
Does anyone know who that's
Is that
by?
Run DMC or one of them?
No, not that one. Like the original, like 70s singer. He was out with James Brown. All
I
them
don't
times.
remember the
I
man's
can't
name, but I
man's
remember the
name.
speech he gave.
If anyone can
Pope,
remember
Pope.
his name, I can't remember the name.
no.
But this song was about
No, what's his name? No.
who?
The one that passed over. You want the guy that.
Yeah, the one who wrote that shit.
The revolutionary brother.
Yeah.
When it passed
He was
over.
like that them times. But anyway, I can't remember the guy's name. But he wrote this song, and this song related to, I believe, the Black Panthers and their movement, and saying how the revolution won't be televised. You won't be told about it, or it have to be taken and that. Now they've used that same very song in the movie, in a fantasy movie. For me, that's a blatant diss to my man.
Basically, we're not going to give you the revolution.
We're controlling the narrative. You're saying it won't be televised. We're putting this on TV for you, fam. Not only are we putting it on TV, we're putting it on the
version.
biggest screen you've ever seen, fam.
So the
When you
point
go
is-
to IMAX,
The point is really distant. What you're saying is that the people that's controlling the system, that are ultimately behind them releasing that movie.
That's
they've
what I'm
released
saying.
it To make the black people think that they're empowered, but really,
really, they're showing where. That's exactly what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying. And it's a push button tactic. It's a push button tactic to control your energy, control your emotions.
And what I'm
It was
saying
like
is
with those
you're
other
right,
things we've
but
had on
it's not.
social media
I'm
recently.
saying-
It just gets you hype, and they take your energy. That's what they're doing, fam.
The main thing is
Draw out.
attention. Yeah, everything is about getting your attention. Every occult thing in a movie, it's all about your fucking with your subconscious overall.
Getting you
It's about-
vision.
So once you stop giving it your attention, even if you're begging, crying, screaming, praying, celebrating, it's your attention.
Yeah.
Once you
You're
stop
giving it
giving your
existence.
attention, the energy stops.
Non-existent.
Look at it like look Michael Cousin. Let's go to Speaker's Corner. When you stop giving certain attention, you start seeing certain man lingering right outside your circle. You see where I'm coming from? Looking to get a bring in, looking for attention.
Yeah.
So it's the same concept. You understand where I'm coming from?
Curious.
Stop giving certain things your attention, and your emotions will stop being played.
So would you say like boycott the movie then?
Nothing long.
Would you
No,
say
it's your choice, he said.
Because you know what? Even that gives
Every
it attention.
individual.
Yeah.
By boycotting it. So I'm just saying,
There
go
you go.
watch it, but for what
Follow
it
your
is.
own art. Don't be
Watch it as
be a
a comic
leader,
show.
not a follower.
Watch it as a comic show.
As it is.
He's basically saying be a leader of your own destiny. Don't be a follower and follow the hype. Yeah, you're giving it. Yeah, it's a movie. A lot of people need to worry about their real lives.
How much time we got?
The same energy we put into that.
Exactly.
Alright, we need to, innit?
Exactly. You put that same energy into your real life.
A lot of them don't, though. A lot of them don't.
You're doing
So,
It's a shame, man.
so we've gone through what we thought of the movie and that.
So what actors are in it?
What was I going to say? No, I was going to say
Anyone we
something
know?
else. There's one thing I was going to say.
You can't chat to him. When he
The
starts
sneak
telling you
dissing.
about something,
Yeah, that tune
still questioning you.
is what I picked
When a
up
man
on.
come and demonstrate
And
right,
what else was it in there? Nah, nothing that just annoyed me. It wasn't so much sneak dissing. And I can say this as well, this is not a spoiler. There was a scene. The guy who went against... I'm telling the story, ain't I?
Tell it. So
There's a guy looking after some rhinos, that's all I say, yeah? And they're in tune with nature, yeah? This rhino is huge, rude boy. This rhino is massive, like, and the way the effects look excellent. Yeah, huge thing. And he's feeding it, and he's, he connects, you see him rubbing the horn and that. Now, there's a fight scene towards the end of the movie, excellent fight scene, I might add, yeah? Boom, one, the effects are excellent in it. And they're fighting, blah, blah, using the technology, using the thing, but there's one, another tribe will come in and save someone. Anyway, so this guy gets this rhino. Now, this rhino is part of their army. You don't realise this. Now, it's got all this armour and everything on, yeah? And it makes it look all fantasy, like something out of Lord of the Rings or some sort of thing like that, yeah? So he's riding on this rhino to go and lick this man who's beating up bare people and that, and he's coming to lick him down. And then the general or some other woman comes and stands in front of this rhino. She's got a relationship with this rhino, and the man just stops dead in its tracks. I mean, it was freezing. It would knock down a building, and she come and stood there and stopped it because obviously she got a relation with this animal. And this is very true to life in Africa. It was always very one with nature, with spirit, African spirituality. That's what it was about. They saw God as nature in around you.
Yes.
The way we breathe out oxygen, that
Energy.
tree breathes
Energy.
breathe in oxygen, that tree breathes out oxygen. It's a balance thing, and that's what it was. That was our
Energy's
God. That was
always
God.
there.
It's there in you, in everything that's living, right? So this was a very real concept. They've now taken this very real concept, because even more evidence to prove that's a real concept. The Haitian Revolution, and I call it revolution, not the massacre or whatever the people call it. When they were fighting them superpowers, yeah, it was fact, and they were fighting them for 12 years. It wasn't one little war. 12 years they were fighting them for. They actually used nature as part of their weapon. So there was parts of the battle where they would lead them, Destiny would lead them these places or whatever to get them to funnel, lose their numbers or whatever. And there was lots of times they'll lead them into swamps where they're fighting them, they'll run across the crocodiles. Yeah, just walk across the crocodiles and snap against them because they're one with nature, fam.
Yeah.
This is real. This is real life
That's where
history.
they got the concept of Tarzan, bro.
That's it. Yeah. So he was in one with it. They used, and then when the army will come through, yam them up. They'll get yammed up by the crocodiles. I don't know what they use, but they used nature against them. So now, in this fantasy movie, they've added these rhinos and made them look all fantasy like it's some fake something or other. But this is real life history.
So
we got to make. They're kind of mocking it, and it's not even so much mocking it, but it's
making you
not.
dismissive
We have
to
to
the
tell your
truth.
youth, yeah,
That's
dismiss
what
all
it
the
is, that
truth.
it never happened.
Yeah. So we need to still pretend like they need to know about that revolution and know what happened and how they fought
You
it.
emphasise it's just a movie. Let me show you what I want.
Exactly.
Oh, that's wrong.
So,
Even when you're watching it with that Nagoso, you get me?
So for me, it wasn't so much of this. It's just that it was undermining.
Movies are like that anyway.
Yeah.
Movies are a big propaganda tool, you know.
And that's what it was doing. It's definitely working its propaganda and that. So that was something for me.
It's not a
as
shocking
well.
factor, but I know what you're saying.
Yeah, and I'm trying. It's not a shocking factor, but it's just something that just got at me. You know what I mean? Just niggled at me. I'm thinking, oh man. I'm even trying to think of other things that were in that movie that.
But did you the way I see you look there? You look like it made you feel like. You felt good, the ending bit. The way you look too happy there, man.
The ending?
Yeah, you look very happy. Look, you're still smiling.
Which ending? What do you mean?
Which ending? Which film were we talking about?
Which ending, man?
You said the ending was good, but I'm gonna watch it. Though.
I'm gonna find something.
You're gonna give us a clip, innit?
Nah. What do I?
I bet you filmed in there. You filmed in there, innit?
Nah, I didn't. Nah, I got that.
You're allowed to film in there.
No, I'm just thinking
You're not
to
allowed,
myself.
but everyone. Who doesn't film in cinemas?
Oh yeah.
Don't film in
I
cinema.
tell you what was good
Unreal,
though.
don't.
One thing that was good I did like was the relationship between
Main
the
actor.
king and his sister.
Proper-
Very
proper
good, very tight. And also the relationship between men and women.
Yeah.
They very much
good
tried to
portrayal.
tap in on African spirituality in that sense. You know, that was proper. The way the women were the warriors, fam. The first line defense of the king, women. And the way this is again very quite true to life.
Women
Quite
hold
true
up
to
a
life.
nation, bro.
Yeah, man, and that's what it was about. So that for me, that was boom. That was boom about the thing.
So they kept some bits. So they knew which bits. They knew, yeah, they pick and choose like any movie, man.
You know, the main thing I wanted to say about it though was like the part where they speak about we talk about the baddie in it. For me, that's the biggest deal out of it, man. That's the biggest deal.
The toes is no, love.
Are you sure they never punched him in the back?
Which part? What? The baddie? What?
When the baddie, what he was fighting for, and the way they've demonised what he was fighting for. That's a big deal for me.
he's
But
not
I don't want to go
fighting
into
for
it too
justice.
much. Yeah, I just think
I know, I'm thinking which side you're talking about.
Basically, they played the baddie. They done a Robin Hood to the baddie.
Yeah,
Are you talking about?
what he's fighting for, all of a sudden now he's the baddie, and then
Yeah, that's how they do it, man.
I really would love to say the ending because I think the biggest thing that pissed me off was probably the ending. That's probably the biggest thing. That's probably
Give
the
it a
biggest
couple
thing.
of weeks and then come back to it.
Yeah. That's the biggest thing that probably pissed me off was the ending. That was too blatant for me, man. But yeah, so
Films are there nowadays.
Yeah, they are.
so what? So we're wrapping up, wrapping up, yeah. So yeah, man. We've gone through a little chat about Black Panther and that. Still, I think it's a bit up in the air. It's a bit of balance there. Some
Would have gave a
hate
better
towards it.
analogy if I watched the film, but I'll just give a definition of what
Well, I think
warp
there's a lot of
trickery
hype
stands
around
for.
it,
You know
innit?
what I
There's a lot of hype around
Got
it
to remember
still.
how much wickedness they portray in their cartoons, and we used to rush home to watch these cartoons. You know, it's like they were fed down us. You know, like some man did like Brussels sprouts or broccoli and them thing there. They used to spit them out or give them to the dog or
I was
whatever.
gonna say, watch the animation
That's how
first.
they fed us stuff. A lot of the time we didn't want to watch. You know what I mean? Like, Bambi was a good story. That showed you about unity. Nah, real talk. But as you know it, unity starts from within.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
if you don't feel that way or
Yeah.
that connection, the film's like oblivious to you. You're just watching something for the sake of watching it.
Yeah.
So
And
it's for
that's-
them to
and
know
that's
what you're
like-
watching, do your research, and don't blame if you ain't entertained yourself
right,
by
man.
doing the research yourself.
Go with your book and your pen.
Yeah, man. So
And make sure you watch the animation first as well, because that'll give you more reasoning to know what's going on.
yeah.
And write something. Script.
Right.
So that we're saying,
The story, keep
saying
the facts.
no, that it's a story.
That's it.
Go and learn
His and
about
her
factual
story.
history. Be excited by it. Enjoy it. Like a Star Wars thing. Yeah, man. Excellent. Boom. Whatever. But find out the real history behind
What did Sam you have to do for Star
the
Wars?
name that they've used for this huge blockbuster movie that's broke all these records. Know that the people who made this ain't made this for you to empower you, man. But
Number one.
if it moves someone from a lower step to an upper step,
Yeah.
so be it, man. That's excellent.
Via
That's a boom
animation,
thing.
via
But-
colouring, via stunts.
Yeah.
Could be anything.
Anything.
Via a little knowledge you pick up.
That's it.
Clothes.
So let's keep it real, yeah, man. And know
And remember,
that.
the best lesson of the day is you got your own mind. Be a leader, not a follower.
It's made by the enemy. That's what we're saying.
So yeah, man. We out, man. We're gone, man. Peace, man.
Content over everything.
Gang.
Top striker. If you love your melanin, but not the viper.
Yeah. Bra, bra. Jesus.
Content over everything. Content over everything. From your melanin.
Man, say it straight. Man, don't listen to
Made from dead vegetation, as they say. But it can't be that dead if it's fueling my car. Over hundreds of thousands of years, vegetation is crushed and it becomes liquefied, oil, and then we can use it for fuel. So it can't be that dead. What is death? Bruv, you see, you ask questions that you don't want, you can't handle. You see? No, I don't shake hands.
You don't shake hands?
Brothers, we're brothers. We're brothers. The brothers do this. You know what that means? Power. This is feminine.
That only comes. How's
Listen,
that feminine?
because I'm going to demonstrate to you. Handshaking came from the Greeks.